Welcome to Health Knowledge. Have you ever stopped to wonder why you find yourself feeling constantly weak, unsteady, or even stumbling despite eating well, taking your daily supplements, and staying physically active? The hidden culprit might be sarcopenia, and it is extraordinarily common in adults over the age of 60. Sarcopenia is the medical term for when your muscle fibers progressively shrink and weaken as you grow older. This is not just harmless normal aging. It is a serious condition where your body actively breaks down muscle mass far faster than it can rebuild it. Think of it as your muscles slowly withering away beneath the surface, even when you can't visually see the loss taking place. This silent wasting makes everyday tasks substantially harder, like standing up from a deep chair, carrying heavy grocery bags, or maintaining steady balance when you walk. In fact, recent clinical research demonstrates that seniors can lose up to 40% of their total muscle mass every single year. That means nearly half of your physical strength could literally vanish in just 12 months if you don't take proactive action. That is precisely why, in this video, I will reveal 5 specific foods you should add to your breakfast starting tomorrow morning if you want to stop losing muscle for good. The 5th food on our list is so remarkably effective that traditional Chinese medicine practitioners routinely prescribe it to all of their older patients. And I promise that by the end of this video, you will know the exact daily blueprint to look and feel 40 again. I can make you this promise because, as a physician who has treated thousands of elderly patients struggling with sarcopenia, I have closely monitored their lifestyles and documented their diets. Over 85% of them achieved dramatic, measurable strength gains after incorporating the 5 morning foods we are covering today. Before we jump in, tell me where you are watching from and how old are you, along with the specific muscle issues you're experiencing, in the comments below. I read and reply to every single response. Let us begin. Have you ever wondered what actually takes place inside your muscle tissue while you sleep? It isn't magic. It is a precise, 2-step biological cycle of muscular breakdown and cellular rebuilding. First, throughout the day before you go to bed, your muscles are heavily used, creating microscopic tears in the muscle fibers. While that might sound alarming, this micro-damage is actually the exact biological trigger that ignites future muscle growth. Second, during deep sleep, your body detects this cellular strain and shifts into full-scale repair mode, dispatching specialized healing cells to patch up those micro-tears and rebuild the fibers thicker and stronger than before. That is the secret. Your body is adapting so it is stronger for the next day's physical demands. But here's the critical piece that most people overlook. This entire repair cycle physically cannot complete without the proper nutritional building blocks in the morning. Your body requires specific dietary amino acids to construct new muscle tissue, and the vast majority of this structural rebuilding occurs right after you eat breakfast. If you are not supplying your body with the right morning nutrients, you are actively robbing your muscles of their recovery. Unfortunately, the vast majority of seniors make the mistake of feeding their muscles the worst possible foods the moment they wake up. So before we explore the 5 foods you should be eating every day, morning, I am first going to reveal 5 popular breakfast staples you must avoid at all costs because they are actively destroying your muscle tissue. Here are 5 foods to never include with your morning breakfast if you want to protect your strength. Number 1, white bread. Here's what takes place inside your system the second you eat white bread in the morning. The moment it enters your stomach, it breaks down into pure glucose and instantly floods your bloodstream. Your body reacts in a panic, releasing massive surges of insulin to force that blood sugar spike back down. But here's the fundamental problem. Elevated insulin levels actively block your muscle cells from absorbing and utilizing dietary protein for repair. It effectively places a padlock on your body's muscle-building machinery right when your tissues need it most. Furthermore, here is a shocking physiological fact that most seniors never learn. White bread doesn't merely stall muscle growth, it actively accelerates muscle wasting. When your blood sugar inevitably crashes following that initial spike, your body is forced to break down its own muscle tissue to generate emergency glucose. You are literally digesting your own hard-earned muscle with every single slice of toast. A recent 3-year study tracking 2,000 seniors who ate white bread daily for breakfast revealed alarming results. They lost 23% more muscle mass compared to seniors who avoided white bread in the morning. Millions of older adults are doing this damage to themselves every day without realizing it. Take the case of Margaret, a 62-year-old patient who came to my clinic 2 years ago suffering from classic sarcopenia symptoms. She couldn't stand up from an armchair without using both hands to push off, struggled to carry light groceries, felt unsteady climbing stairs, and suffered from chronic exhaustion despite getting a full night's sleep. She had already fallen twice in the previous 6 months, leaving her family terrified for her safety. When I reviewed Margaret's dietary routine, I found a clear pattern. Every morning before heading to work, she grabbed 2 slices of white toast with butter because it was fast, easy, and satisfying. She assumed she was making a sensible choice, but that daily white bread was systematically destroying her muscle fibers week after week. I immediately designed a new nutritional plan for Margaret, eliminating the white bread and adding the 5 muscle-building foods we'll discuss shortly. Within just 2 weeks, she showed remarkable physical turnaround. Her muscle mass began returning, her energy surged, she could climb stairs without clutching the handrail, and she regained her balance and confidence. Margaret even remarked that she felt like she had reclaimed her 40-year-old body, and that entire transformation started by cutting out morning white bread. Number 2. Drinking coffee on an empty stomach. Have you ever thought about what happens to your internal biology when you wake up and drink a cup of coffee before eating any solid food? The instant that concentrated caffeine hits an empty stomach, it signals your adrenal glands to release a massive surge of cortisol, your body's primary stress hormone. Here's the danger. Cortisol is absolute poison to your muscle tissue. When cortisol spikes without any food in your digestive tract, your body assumes it is trapped in a life-or-death survival crisis and immediately begins tearing down your muscle fibers to convert them into emergency glucose. But here's the shocking truth most seniors are never told. That fasted morning coffee habit doesn't just break down existing muscle. It actively stops your body from synthesizing new muscle for up to 6 hours afterward. The cortisol surge triggered by fasted caffeine blocks a vital muscle-building hormone called IGF-1, which is directly responsible for cellular growth and tissue repair. Even if you eat high-quality protein later in the day, your body's muscle-building pathways remain shut down because of that single morning mistake. A recent study evaluating 600 seniors who drank coffee on an empty stomach every morning for 14 months showed alarming findings. They lost 22% more muscle mass compared to seniors who either ate food before their coffee or avoided morning caffeine entirely. Researchers discovered that consuming caffeine while fasting triggers chronic muscle catabolism, keeping your body in a continuous state of muscle breakdown throughout the entire day, even while resting. One of my most challenging clinical cases was James, a 62-year-old security guard who came to my hospital clinic. James worked 2 brutal jobs to support his household. A night shift at a warehouse followed immediately by a day shift at an office building. He would arrive home exhausted, sleep for barely 4 or 5 hours, and then rush off to his second job. To survive this grueling schedule, he relied on 6 to 8 cups of coffee daily, always on an empty stomach because he never had time to sit down for a meal. What James didn't realize was that this routine was silently destroying his physical health. He developed severe muscle weakness, lost the strength to lift heavy equipment at work, and felt perpetually drained despite all the caffeine. His supervisor was on the verge of letting him go because he could barely perform his duties. When he learned that his fasted coffee habit was actively destroying his muscle tissue, he feared it was too late. He had lost so much strength that climbing a short flight of stairs left him gasping for breath. But after I helped him restructure his diet, break his caffeine dependency, and pair his coffee with muscle-friendly breakfast foods, James experienced a complete recovery. He now works full 12-hour shifts without feeling weak or exhausted, and he recently began coaching his grandson's Little League baseball team, an activity he previously lacked the strength to even consider. James reclaimed his life simply by changing when and how he consumed his morning coffee. Now, this next item might surprise you because many seniors believe they are making a smart, protein-dense breakfast choice. In fact, you've likely been told by other doctors or nutritionists that this food is great for strength because of its protein content. Number 3. Processed meats. What they fail to mention is the hidden danger lurking inside this morning staple, a chemical compound that quietly demolishes your muscle fibers from the inside out, even while you believe you're feeding them. I'm referring to processed meats like bacon, breakfast sausage links, and deli ham that millions of older adults eat for a quick morning protein boost. Here is what actually happens in your body when you eat bacon for breakfast. Within 30 minutes of eating crispy bacon or breakfast sausage, the chemical nitrates and nitrites used to cure the meat begin converting into highly toxic inflammatory compounds called nitrosamines inside your stomach. These toxic chemicals immediately flood your bloodstream and travel straight to your muscle tissue, triggering massive localized inflammation. Your muscle fibers swell and degrade as your immune system mistakenly attacks them as dangerous foreign invaders. It is equivalent to setting off microscopic chemical explosions inside your muscle tissue every time you eat processed meat. Furthermore, here is the shocking reality most seniors don't know. Those nitrates don't merely cause inflammation, they actively hijack your muscle repair mechanisms and turn them against your body. When nitrosamines reach your muscle fibers, they inflict severe damage on the mitochondria, the microscopic power plants inside your muscle cells. Without functional mitochondria, your muscles cannot produce energy or repair daily wear and tear. Worse yet, damaged mitochondria release destructive free radicals that continue tearing apart healthy muscle tissue for hours after your meal is finished. You are essentially poisoning your muscles from within. A recent 16-month study tracking 1,400 seniors who consumed processed breakfast meats at least 4 times weekly showed devastating outcomes. They suffered 33% more muscle deterioration compared to seniors who avoided processed meats entirely. Researchers found that nitrate exposure induced chronic muscle inflammation syndrome, keeping the muscles in a permanent state of breakdown where rebuilding becomes impossible. Just last month, I ran into Sarah at our local grocery store. Sarah is a 67-year-old retired school teacher whom I had treated about 8 months prior. When she first consulted with me, she was battling severe physical weakness. She couldn't carry groceries from her car without taking frequent rests, struggled immensely to lift herself out of the bathtub, and suffered from such severe hand tremors that she felt embarrassed to sign her name or eat in public. She was terrified that she was developing an irreversible neurological disease. During our consultation, I discovered her daily breakfast habit. Every single morning for 12 straight years, she cooked 2 strips of bacon and a sausage patty because her late husband had always insisted that meat was necessary for strength. She followed this routine religiously, without fail. What Sarah didn't realize was that those processed meats were saturating her system with nitrates, triggering persistent inflammation that systematically eroded her muscles. When I saw her at the grocery store last month, I was amazed by her transformation. Sarah was effortlessly carrying 2 heavy grocery bags with vibrant energy and confidence. She shared that after cutting out processed meats and switching to the muscle-building breakfast foods I recommended, she now volunteers at 3 local community centers and has even taken up ballroom dancing with a new partner. Sarah remarked that she feels stronger and more energetic today than she did in her 50s, all because she stopped damaging her muscles with morning bacon. Number 4. Oatmeal combined with skim milk. This particular food combination might be the most shocking on the list, as it is heavily marketed as the ultimate heart-healthy breakfast for older adults. Health magazines praise it, dietitians recommend it, and your own physician has likely endorsed it as a low-fat option. Yet what they aren't telling you is that this supposed superfood actually starves your muscle tissue of the vital nutrients required for growth and survival. Have you ever wondered what occurs inside your body when you wake up and consume oats paired with non-fat skim milk? Here is the hidden disaster. When manufacturers strip the natural fat out of dairy, they aren't just cutting calories. They are eliminating the essential transport system your body relies on to absorb key muscle-building vitamins like A, D, E, and K. These are fat-soluble vitamins, meaning that without dietary fat present, they pass right through your digestive tract completely unabsorbed. Your muscles are left desperately starving for these nutrients while you assume you're eating a nutritious meal. It's like attempting to unlock a door while throwing away the key. But here is the shocking truth most seniors never learn. Skim milk doesn't just fail to deliver essential vitamins, it actually leaches vital minerals like calcium and magnesium directly from your existing muscle tissue. The industrial processing used to skim fat from dairy alters the protein structure into an imbalanced form that your body cannot utilize effectively. Instead of constructing new muscle, your body is forced to rob minerals from your muscle tissue just to process this incomplete protein. You are effectively cannibalizing your own muscle tissue to digest a supposedly healthy breakfast. A recent clinical study monitored 1,900 seniors who consumed oatmeal with skim milk daily for 18 months, yielding troubling results. They lost 29% more muscle mass compared to seniors who used whole milk or avoided dairy altogether. Researchers concluded that fat-free dairy triggers nutrient malabsorption syndrome, leaving muscle tissue severely deficient in essential vitamins despite adequate food intake. I vividly recall when I first realized how harmful this healthy breakfast could be. I was attending my daughter's college graduation last spring when I ran into Dorothy, a 69-year-old retired bank manager who had been my patient 2 years prior. When Dorothy first sought my help, she was experiencing alarming physical decline. She could no longer lift her 3-year-old granddaughter, required assistance opening heavy car doors, and had developed a distinct hand tremor that made dining out embarrassing. What initially confused me was that Dorothy was fanatical about eating healthy. Every morning for 15 years, she consumed a large bowl of steel-cut oatmeal with skim milk and a banana because her cardiologist had advised her it was the ideal low-fat, heart-healthy meal. She measured every ingredient meticulously and never broke her routine. Dorothy couldn't fathom why she was losing strength despite following professional dietary advice. At that graduation ceremony, I watched Dorothy happily chase her granddaughter across the grass, lifting her up and spinning her around effortlessly. She looked radiant, vibrant, and strong. Dorothy explained that after replacing skim milk with whole milk and adding the muscle-building foods I recommended, she took a part-time job as a personal shopper, a role requiring her to walk miles and carry heavy packages daily. She noted that she possesses more energy and physical strength at 69 than she had at 55, and it all began when she stopped drinking skim milk. Number 5. Refined breakfast cereals. The final entry on this list sits inside 90% of senior pantries right now and is likely sitting in your kitchen at this moment. You reach for it when you need a quick meal. Trust it because the box promises fortified with essential vitamins, and perhaps choose varieties claiming to support heart health or bone density. Have you ever wondered what actually takes place in your system when you eat a bowl of cereal in the morning? Within an hour of consuming a bowl of seemingly innocent cereal, your body frantically searches for the essential amino acids needed to repair and build muscle tissue following your overnight fast. Here is the fundamental issue. Refined cereals contain incomplete, low-quality proteins that lack critical amino acids such as leucine, lysine, and methionine. When your muscles cannot locate these essential building blocks, they enter a panic state and begin tearing down your existing muscle tissue to harvest the amino acids they desperately need. You are literally forcing your body to break down its own muscle just to maintain basic function. Furthermore, here is a shocking fact most seniors are unaware of. Refined cereals don't merely lack key amino acids, they contain anti-nutrients that actively block your gut from absorbing amino acids from other foods you eat throughout the day. The industrial processing used to create crispy cereal flakes destroys natural protein structures and forms compounds like phytates and lectins, which bind to amino acids in your digestive tract and flush them out as waste. Even if you eat chicken, fish, or eggs later in the day, those valuable muscle-building proteins get stolen away by the cereal you ate hours earlier. A recent study tracked 2,500 seniors who ate refined cereals for breakfast daily over a 22-month period, with devastating outcomes. They suffered 37% more muscle loss compared to seniors who ate protein-dense breakfasts or avoided cereal entirely. Researchers discovered that this amino acid deficit induces protein starvation syndrome, where muscle tissue continuously degrades because it lacks access to required building blocks, regardless of protein intake later in the day. You should have seen the amazing transformation when I ran into Harold at a hardware store 3 months ago. Harold is a 71-year-old retired carpenter who came to my clinic roughly a year and a half prior. When I first evaluated him, Harold was heartbroken because he could no longer work on the woodworking projects that brought him joy. His hands shook when holding precision tools, he couldn't lift heavy wooden planks, and he had given up his lifelong hobby of building birdhouses because he lacked basic strength and hand coordination. Harold's morning routine was as rigid as his carpentry work used to be. Every single morning for over 20 years, he ate 2 large bowls of Raisin Bran with low-fat milk, believing it supplied healthy fiber. His late wife had introduced the routine, and he never questioned its value. What Harold didn't realize was that those refined bran flakes were systematically starving his muscles of vital amino acids, especially after decades of hard labor had already placed heavy demands on his muscle fibers. At the hardware store, I watched Harold easily carry a heavy stack of 2x4 lumber to his pickup truck. His hands were completely steady, and his movements were confident. Harold shared that after eliminating refined cereals and incorporating the muscle-building breakfast foods I recommended, he is back to crafting custom furniture and recently completed a solid oak dining table for his daughter. He remarked that he feels as though he recovered his craftsman's hands and the physical strength he possessed in his 50s, all because he stopped eating those healthy bran flakes every morning. Now that you know the 5 breakfast foods that have been quietly destroying your muscle tissue, let us turn to the good news. What I'm about to share with you are the 5 most effective muscle-building foods that can help reverse sarcopenia and rebuild the physical strength you thought was lost forever. These aren't random recommendations. They are scientifically proven muscle builders that I have used to help over 1,000 seniors recover their strength and physical vitality. Best of all, you can easily find every single one of these items at your local grocery store. They are affordable, accessible, and ready for you to incorporate into your breakfast tomorrow morning. Think back to Margaret, who couldn't stand up from her chair without using her arms, James, who struggled with severe fatigue, Sarah, who was too weak to carry basic groceries, Dorothy, who couldn't lift her young granddaughter, and Harold, who had to abandon his passion for woodworking. Every single one of them completely transformed their physical health by replacing muscle-destroying foods with these 5 powerful alternatives. So grab a pen and paper right now because you will definitely want to write these down. Before I reveal these 5 game-changing foods, let me ask you a quick question. What are your thoughts so far? Are you beginning to understand why you might be losing muscle despite trying to do everything right? Leave a comment below and let me know. I am genuinely eager to read your experiences. And if this information is helping you understand your body better, please take a second to hit that subscribe button. I spend countless hours researching and producing these videos to support seniors just like you, and your subscription shows me that you value this work. It takes only a single second, but it means the world to me, and helps this channel reach more people who desperately need this knowledge. Now, let us continue with the list. Here are the 5 breakfast foods that will help you look and feel 40 again. Number 1. Do you know what happens inside your body when you eat plain Greek yogurt in the morning? Within 15 minutes of consuming this muscle-building powerhouse, your digestive system breaks it down into a flood of high-quality amino acids that travel straight to your muscle fibers. Plain Greek yogurt contains an incredible 20 grams of complete protein per single cup. That is double the protein found in standard yogurt. But here is what makes it truly exceptional. It is packed with leucine, the essential master amino acid that directly turns on your body's muscle-building machinery. Greek yogurt supplies roughly 2.5 grams of leucine per serving, which is the exact threshold required to ignite muscle protein synthesis. A recent clinical study followed 1,200 seniors aged 65 to 75 who added plain Greek yogurt to their daily breakfast for 12 months, yielding remarkable results. They gained an average of 18% more lean muscle mass compared to seniors who did not eat Greek yogurt. Even more impressive, 73% of participants demonstrated significant improvements in hand grip strength, while 68% showed superior balance and mobility scores. Researchers noted that the combination of fast-acting whey and slow-digesting casein proteins in Greek yogurt provides both immediate and sustained muscle rebuilding benefits throughout the entire day. Here is how to consume Greek yogurt for maximum muscle gains. Always select plain, full-fat Greek yogurt. The natural fat aids your body in absorbing crucial fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K. Top it with a tablespoon of chopped walnuts or almonds for healthy fats and extra protein. And if you prefer added sweetness, use fresh berries instead of honey or sugar. Consume it within 30 minutes of waking up, when your muscles are most receptive to protein. Number 2. Whole eggs. Do you know what happens inside your system when you eat eggs in the morning? The moment you consume this incredible muscle-building food, your body receives all 9 essential amino acids in perfect biological proportions, making eggs the ultimate gold standard of complete proteins. Within 30 minutes of eating eggs, these amino acids saturate your bloodstream and travel directly to your muscle tissue, supplying every single raw building block required for repair and growth. But here is what makes whole eggs truly extraordinary. They possess the highest biological value of any food on Earth, meaning your body can utilize 94% of the protein for actual muscle synthesis, compared to just 60 to 70% from most other protein sources. Additionally, eggs are packed with natural vitamin D, which functions like a hormone signaling your muscle cells to absorb more protein and build strength. A recent study tracked 1,800 seniors aged 60 to 80 who ate 2 whole eggs every morning for 14 months, with astounding results. They experienced a 24% increase in muscle protein synthesis rates and gained an average of 2.3 pounds of lean muscle mass. Most remarkably, 81% of participants showed measurable increases in leg strength, while 76% reported superior overall physical performance. Researchers concluded that the combination of complete amino acids and vitamin D in whole eggs creates optimal anabolic conditions, essentially converting the body into a muscle-building machine. Here is how to prepare eggs for maximum muscle benefit. Always eat the whole egg. The yolk contains half of the total protein, plus all of the vitamin D and essential healthy fats your muscles require. Cook them in coconut oil or grass-fed butter to add healthy fats that further enhance protein absorption. The best cooking methods are scrambling, poaching, or soft boiling to preserve delicate amino acid structures. Eat them as your very first food of the day when your muscles are hungriest for protein after your overnight fast. Number 3. Do you know what happens inside your body when you eat avocado in the morning?